Hello, my friends. It's been a while, but finally back with a new LP. So what I'm going to be doing in this one is a run-through of the ROM hack for Super Metroid called Project Bashe. And basically what it is a improvement on Super Metroid, and it's definitely one worth playing. It's one of my favorite ROM hacks for this game that I've played just ever. I mean, it really kicks a lot of ass. And as I go along, I'll describe what exactly it's changed and all that. But for the most part, you can kind of consider it like maybe a New Game Plus type thing. But I would say it's even more than that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start. The intro has not changed, so this will give me an opportunity to
is in captivity.
Talk about it.
The galaxy is at peace.
So basically, this LP is not for people who have never played Super Metroid or don't know a whole lot about it. If you've never played Super Metroid, well, go fucking play it. It's an amazing game. Easily the best Metroid game, although, you know, it's a bit of a contention between people on which one's really the best. But this is my favorite one, and I really do think it's the best one. But if you've never played Super Metroid or don't know a whole lot about it, I wouldn't recommend watching this, because this LP is going to assume that you've actually played the game and know a fair bit about it, at least enough about it that you're not going to be scratching your head the whole video. But Project Bashe, like I said, is kind of like a New Game Plus type thing for Super Metroid. It takes the original layout, adds some new interconnectivity and shortcuts to different areas, gives you a whole lot of different routes you can take, and it kind of makes it even more open-ended than the original Super Metroid, which is really saying something, because the original Super Metroid is a very non-linear game when it wants to be, but it never goes overboard with it, and neither does Project Bashe. So what I'm going to try and do with this LP is, instead of just playing through it like I would play through normal Super Metroid, I mean, that's been done a billion, 63,000 trillion times on YouTube, so we're not going to worry about that. What I'm going to try and do is take advantage of the new features of Project Bashe and basically play through the game and get all the major items in the order I normally would, but without killing any bosses or mini-bosses, and then we'll come back to them at the end. And anything that can be skipped completely, I will skip completely. So that's it for the intro. Again, a lot of this hasn't changed. You're not going to see the real differences here until I get started. But good old Ceres Space Station, always got to be there. Honestly, I prefer to skip the space station, but whatever. So this is specifically this is a version of Project Bashe that keeps the original palettes intact. There's the main version changes up the palettes, and it's cool, but I prefer the original palette. But it's hard for you guys to actually see what's different so far, but the big thing is the physics are different. You can, when you jump, you can start spinning in air, which you couldn't do before. You had to start spin jumping, or else it would just be a straight jump. So the good old Ridley fight is still here. You've got a bit of a rapid fire thing going on. This is where the first major change takes place, because there's Ridley. Oh no, it's Ridley, it's Ridley, it's Ridley. Ah, kill him, kill him, kill him. Wait, where's he going? Oh. Well, that was brief. Wait a minute. It's not blowing up? And also the color changed. Got some creepy music too. What exactly is going on here? What the hell is going on here? But, yeah, big change suddenly. Wall jumping feels a lot nicer in this, and you'll definitely see me use that a ton. But, let's go ahead and get out of here. She's just flying away. So that's it. Ceres doesn't actually explode in this. Begrimed, the guy who basically worked on this whole thing, along with, I guess, testers and whatnot, he wanted it to be so that the station just kind of is left as is. And in an older version I played, the station still blew up, but in this one he finally made it so that it doesn't blow up. Makes a little more sense that way. Because, I mean, obviously, if it's not actually blowing up and then it blows up in the cutscene, what kind of sense does that make? So it finally landed. You can see the saving is a lot quicker now. I'll be using these save stations along with save states just because it makes it a little easier for me. So I'm not going to use save states to like abuse game glitches and whatnot. I want to try and keep this as glitch free and whatnot as possible, but I'll use things that are, you know, readily available in the game to skip and do things like that. But it has to be something that I can do without, you know, abusing slowdown or anything like that. I'll only use save states basically to give myself a retry, or if I just don't think I'm going to make it through an area, that I could use it to kind of back out. And I'm also playing on BeastNess. I'm still using BeastNess after all these years, even though it's changed over to Huygen now. And, you know, even though this older version of BeastNess is not as accurate as Huygen, it's still super fucking accurate. So what you're seeing here is basically what it would be like if it was played on a real console. You know, sans the composite video and all that stuff. Now, oddly enough, you can kill these things. I don't really know why. In keeping with the theme of keeping the game like streamlined, the item animation for like picking up new items and whatnot has all been sped up. And if you look here, the map is already mapped out, and you can already see there's a few like little different things on it. It's all very interesting, and you'll get to see a lot of these new areas. Like, oh, that wasn't there before. And that's one of the things that I love about this. It's an amazing way to play through Super Metroid, especially if you've spent a lot of time playing through the original and just kind of want a new experience while keeping most of the core aspects in place. Here's a cool trick. You can do a backflip now if you hold dash and then press jump and then backwards. It's pretty useful early on, and I'm actually going to exploit it a little bit later. Unfortunately, there's can't really go here. I actually need the bombs for this stuff, so we'll come back. Oh, almost fell in. That would have been bad. The first time I played Project Based, it was really an awesome experience, and just being able to kind of relive Super Metroid, but with all sorts of new little enhancements and whatnot, and all the fact that the physics are kind of revamped. I mean, it's not like, you know, with redesign where there's only take one shot now, actually. But yeah, it's not like with redesign where the physics are really like kind of almost like not user-friendly, I would say. You know, everything feels right in this. It feels like the perfect way to replay through Super Metroid, and honestly, I've gotten kind of spoiled by the way everything works in this, because it's just like, damn. It feels so fluent and amazing that it's just really, really worth playing. If you like to play ROM hacks for this game, I recommend it. Can't recommend it enough. It's definitely one of the best out there, along with stuff like redesign. And there's one out there now called Hyper Metroid that used this as a base, Project Base. So I've seen a friend play that one. I haven't played it myself, but it looks awesome, and I'll have to try at some point. But yeah, just the interconnectivity that was brought to this whole thing. A lot of areas that seemed like they should have been connected but just weren't in the original now kind of make sense. There's all sorts of little shortcuts and whatnot, and it allows for a lot of different ways to play through the game. And that's one of the biggest key features of a Metroid game, is replayability due to open-endedness. Maybe not so much in the early ones, but starting with Super Metroid, you know, that's how it's been. Although, I don't know, really, Super Metroid was kind of the only one that was like that. Because Metroid Fusion was pretty linear. A lot of people had a problem with that. It's still a good game, but it is linear. And the Prime games, I don't know how much sequence breaking you can do, mostly because it's been a while since I played them. But yeah, in this one, you can do a lot of things. And I guess there's sequence breaking in the original Metroid. But I was real frustrated with the original Metroid. I mean, I guess it's a good game for what it is, but it's definitely not something that people who grew up with Super Metroid would have a lot of fun playing. And that's me. I grew up with Super Metroid. It's probably among the earliest games I played in my whole life, but I love playing it. So yeah. The commentary for this one won't be quite as nostalgic and reflective, but I'll definitely throw some of that into the mix because it's one of my favorite things to do. In terms of just talking about video games while playing them. It's just kind of fun to relive the experiences and whatnot. So this isn't a whole lot different. Some of the colors are different, even though it is on, even though this is the version of the ROM that has the original palettes. And that's just, I guess those are just stylistic choices. If I could get up the wall here. I still have a little bit of trouble with wall jumping every so often. It's never been something I've been like extreme good at, but I can do it well enough that I can, you know, get by, and I can, you know, do a lot of things. And being able to restart the spin jump while mid-jump is a huge benefit here, because it was really frustrating when you would be wall jumping and then it would be like, oh, ops, Samus like pointed her gun or something, now she's straight, and you can't like make her spin again. That shit drove me up the wall. And being able to restart the spin jump is really like it's almost something that I would just want to be in like every ROM hack now, and everything Metroid related forever, because it's just that good. There's a ton of things in this that really should have been in the original. But I mean, I can't really compare this to the original, because the original is a classic in every way, in its own right. But after playing this, you excuse me, you do start to kind of be like, wow, I wish this was in there. And that's what I really like about it. It's definitely something that's fun to replay, although this is only like my second time actually running through the whole game again. I played the previous version about a year ago, and it just blew me away at that time. And I was planning on doing a Let's Play of it for a while, but I just never got around to it. Can't do this room without the bombs, alright. I don't know what took me so long. I guess, you know, just the usual things that keep me from doing LPs, which are still exist, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and fight the Bomb Torizo. Or will we? Yeah, let's see how this goes. So yeah, you can see some of the rooms have been changed. I haven't shown off any of the major layout changes, but like some rooms have been combined, some rooms have been split up, and some areas have been placed behind different doors and whatnot. And it's all kind of, it all just kind of goes together. So, hi Bomb Torizo. I'm going to attempt to skip the Bomb Torizo. That's right, you can actually skip him in this. And it's not super hard like it was. God damn it. It does take a little bit of finesse, though. You have to be really good at what you're doing to get it. It's easy to mess up that backspin, which is why I'm having so much trouble. You have to hit down, A, jump, and then back. And sometimes you can just miss it. But since the theme here is skipping bosses, I definitely want to give skipping this guy a try, even if it's going to take me some retries. Normally I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm going to keep doing this, I'm going to keep doing this, I'm going to keep doing this. But I just want to show you that it is possible, and I don't want to like edit it out and say, oh, I did it on my first try, guys, I'm that good. I know this is a little hard to watch, but trust me, you can do it. Just like that. It's very difficult. You have to get the movements down in one fluid motion, and sometimes you can mess up that backspin pretty easily. Or that like back flip, I guess it's called. You have to basically do it as soon as the dialogue box disappears, and it has to be all perfect. But yeah, it's easier to skip the Bomb Torizo, because in regular Super Metroid, the only way a human can skip the Bomb Torizo is if you're playing the PAL version, because it's got a lower frame rate, but Samus moves faster to compensate for the lower frame rate. Alright, now can I Alcatraz out of here? Which, for the uninitiated, is just what people use to refer to getting out of here without using... It's basically just doing a spin jump into a ball, and getting out of here this way. In speedruns, it saves some time. It's not really good for a casual run like this, but I just want to show it off. Yeah, the physics in this are great, and just how everything controls. It's really a well-controlling mod, and almost going back to the original Super Metroid after this can always be kind of like, ugh, because everything just feels weird. If I could just get it. It is tricky to do. You have to, everything has to line up like really perfectly, and there we go. You have to hit all the right buttons at the right time. Alright, so now let me go down here now. It'll definitely be fun to try and find different ways to get around the bosses, because there are a rather large amount of major items you can get without entering a single boss room. The only one that you can't, you know, get without entering a boss room at least, is the bomb. You still have to go in there and get it, but you can skip the fight if you're good. Preferably better than me and not having to take like 70,000 tries to get that freaking skip right. But all the other items I'm going to try and avoid even confronting any of the bosses whatsoever. I'm just going to go in there and try and get all the items I can. So basically what I'll do is I'll get as many major items as I'm allowed to get without touching any of the bosses. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fight them in reverse order. And then the rest of the game will just be regular after that. Because unfortunately you still have to kill all the bosses to get to Torian. It just won't go without it. And you know, I mean, I'm okay with that, but it would be kind of cool to see what all you could skip. There's still a ton you can skip, and a ton of different ways you can play this. Once you get a few of the major items, like the super missiles and whatnot, you can. There's a lot of places you can go that you previously couldn't. So that's the fun of it, and I want to show some of it off. So, you know, just to reiterate, this isn't a normal type playthrough. I'm definitely going to be using tricks and whatnot to get through areas that I normally wouldn't be able to get through. The elevator's faster, and one thing that I kind of liked to compare this to was, like, it's the difference between Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Z Kai. It kind of cuts out all the filler, I guess you could say, and it just speeds things up tremendously. Like, the door transitions are faster, getting items is faster, elevators faster, some of the enemies work faster. It just feels like a way more streamlined version of the game, and that's cool. I really enjoy that. Oh, I got that first try. So yeah, to skip Spore Spawn, we're gonna have to get this super missile early. There is another. You can actually get Spore Spawn in the original anyway. You can get Spore Spawn's a missile, like the one that you actually get from killing him, without killing him. But in this you can't. You actually have to kill him to get it. So we're just going to skip that entirely and get this one, and we'll be on our merry way. So you can see that some of the palettes are a little different, but it's not radically different like the original version of the mod is. There's also a version where you can play with the original version of the game, but with the new gameplay changes, or you can play with the original gameplay on the modified maps. So there's a few ways you can go through this, but this is the one I prefer to do. So here's a new room, and this is cool. I just like the little new rooms and whatnot that have been added. It adds all sorts of interconnectivity and just makes things so much. It just makes things flow a lot better. And that's just really cool. I like that kind of thing in a game like this. Trying to keep an eye on my time here. I see I've got about 18 minutes. I'll try and not make these longer than maybe like 25, just so you guys aren't sitting here watching me ramble on and do random shit for too long. Because I don't have a video limit anymore. Well, I mean, I haven't for a while, but I just don't want to make a video too long for one sitting, if you know what I mean. So I'd say after I get a few more things here and get to the red part of Brinstar, maybe like right before Norfair, I'll probably cut it off, depending on how much time I've got. Because even though I can do videos as long as I need to, there still has to be a line to be drawn somewhere. The good thing though is it means I don't have to rush and beat a certain time limit like I did back when there was only a 10-minute limit. I fucking hated that so much. It was just piss and grease everywhere. There's really not much going on over here. This just leads to where Spore Spawn is, and I'm not going to fight him, so let's get a few items in here. I'll just map it out at least, you know. Okay, that's good. I do like how he changed the pink doors not taking 5 shots to open. The previous version it was like that, but he changed it for this one, and I like it better that way. It means I don't have to waste a bunch of missiles and time. A lot of the things I'm doing you can do in regular Super Metroid, but it's easier in this just because of how different everything is. And it's definitely something that would be cool for someone who's like not that skilled at Super Metroid, perhaps. Like someone who is always kind of like a beginner at Super Metroid. This is something for them to try, because it does make things easier. However, there are things for experts in here. And one of them I might be showing off here in a second. Yay, charge beam. So over here is a new door. Just a new connective area. Try not to get hit by the thing that looks like a giant roly-poly. That's what I always thought those were. And, uh-oh, spikes, what do? Well, we'll do that to start, and then I'll just jump over them. And this takes us to... over here, which is the X-ray scope. So I just completely bypassed the normal way to get the X-ray scope. And again, stuff like that is what makes this so cool. You can find out all sorts of different ways to do shit. I mean, you do have to take damage jumping over the spikes, but if you do that backflip just right and then another jump, well, if you don't screw that up for one, you don't take too much damage. You just have to be careful not to stay on the spikes too long, because with the power suit, you take a lot of damage from spikes. I mean, a lot of damage. If I could not fail the wall jump, here we go. Yeah, the wall jumping feels a lot more fluent than this. Like, if you wall jump and then don't press any buttons, you can, like, go just straight up, and that can be helpful. There actually is one thing I want to do before we move along here. Right here is where... this is where you exit from Spore Spawn, if I could get it right. And for the record, bomb jumping is really easy in this too. Here, I'll just do this. So normally it's like, oh no, it's blocked by a super missile, but what you can do is, even in regular Metroid, you just pan the camera back a little bit, jump forward, shoot, and it breaks it. So this allows us to get into Spore Spawn from reverse. Like I said, I cannot get his missile because he locked it behind a door to try and, you know, keep the privy players out. But that's not what I'm going for. See, rip. I'm going up here. Let's see, change this too. This is no longer blocked off by a crumble block, it's actually a door now. I just want to go up here and check out a few things. So I can shoot that and then start my jump and bounce back up. I love that spin jump restart. I'm probably going to be talking about that a lot. It's one of my favorite things, along with you not losing your momentum whenever you jump and then land again. That's just awesome. So this is actually back in Criteria. This is under the old Terrain room, and I mean, obviously you can tell by the way it looks. So I'm going up. Well, it will let me kill him. And I could go back up that way, but I don't really feel like it. I'm just going to go back the way I came, because that's going to put me on the right path, being over there. Having to go back up there is just going to waste a lot of time, and I'm about to hit my limit more or less, so I'd like to keep things going here. I couldn't ever really get that backflip, you know, working the way I wanted to before, but I've gotten better at it. It's definitely a nice tool for skipping certain things and avoiding damage in those really spiky, awful rooms. Well, luckily I have supers anyway, but I mean, I wouldn't even be able to get back here without supers, so it's a moot point. So just a few more things, and then just shy of Norfair, I'm going to go ahead and stop the vid, and then we'll just pick up from there. I don't imagine that this will take too long. It'll probably only end up being a couple hours at most, because, I mean, you know, these games only usually take a few hours to complete anymore, with how quickly everything can be done. First time through, though, it can really take a while. Now this will put me back where I was earlier, where I couldn't get through. Now I can get through, so I got the bomb. Well, if I can kill this guy first, being a jerk. Thank you. Uh-oh, shit. I forgot those are all crumble blocks. It's always lame when they put crumble blocks and they make you fall on them, but you gotta make it challenging somehow. So let's go up here. I guess I could have just come this way anyway, but whatever. And Ellie is barking because she's epic and just likes to bark now. There is no E-tank in this room. He actually moved it out, so don't have to worry about that. What I can do is go up here, though. Normally, in like the original game, you got a shine spark up here, and you still can, but I think it's easier just to do it like this. I don't know if I can stop failing. How wall jump? Samus wrote. Okay. Just lay that. Well, get a little closer for one. It's tricky. It's not super easy to do. I'm just trying to get as many items as I can, obviously, as early as I can, because that's kind of the fun of things like this. I might wait till I have the high jump, because it'd be easier that way. Get out of here. Thank you. Shit. Yeah, she won't bounce off the wall right before I get ready to lay the bomb. That's the thing that's irritating me here. I also keep missing that by like an inch. Alright, well, I've wasted enough time on that. Let's just keep going here. So this is the top of the red Brinstar zone, which is cool. So you don't have to... This will allow you to get the power bombs earlier. That's always fun. Now, this room sucks even with the backflip. This room just sucks, period. It sucks in every incarnation it's ever been in. The spikes just everywhere, and basically you have to do like chode jumps not to freaking hit the spikes on the ceiling or fall down or hit the spikes elsewhere. It's just a mess. So we're gonna go ahead and get the power bombs now, because I can. Gotta be a little careful though, because there are some spikes in this room. Wow! Epic miss, Samus. Okay. Alright, so now I already got the power bombs. So this opens up a lot of opportunities. And I'll definitely be showing them off in the next video. Okay, we made that. Still got hit by those little things, but those aren't as bad as falling in the spikes. You can get the power bombs pretty early in the main game, but it takes a little bit of patience. In this, it's a lot easier because you can just go through that green door in Criteria. Well, it's not really Criteria, but it's a Criterion zone, I should say. I like how you can kill these guys' spikes now. That's really helpful. You don't just have to take the beating like a man. Let's kill these dudes. These are actually pretty painful. I like the tractor beam effect that the charge beam has. Makes getting distant items easier. Because usually you can do that kind of thing with a grapple beam. I don't know what I was thinking. I knew it was over here, yet for whatever reason I was thinking it was somewhere else. I'm thinking of a different room entirely. Okay, so since I'm near a save station, I might as well just save and call it quits for now. Be the best thing to do. So in the next video, we'll go ahead and really start the sequence breaking going, so I'll see you then.